Welcome to the Late Night with Junky podcast.
Ready?
We're rolling!
No, Here we go. Friends and family, brothers and sisters, welcome to the Late Night with Junky podcast.
Yeah, that sounds like the beginning of a sermon or something like that.
Hey, our guest
Kind of is, bro.
Yeah, our guest this week is a punk rocker and adrenaline junkie. He has passions like boxing and jiu-jitsu, motorcycle riding and racing, surfing and shaping. This musician and entrepreneur has been turning passions into businesses time and time again.
Fuck, dude.
From gym owner to co-founder of MotoXXX, and
What?
as recent, starting a surfboard label, Pickle Stix.
Yeah.
What?
You did your fucking
Hey,
homework.
this guy likes to hustle and
all
stay
he does.
busy. His punk band has been cranking out music for close to 40 years. Holy shit. He just released another album, another record, double album. Is that the name? Double
Yeah,
album?
we had one that came out like a year ago called Single, and then
Uh-huh.
this is the backup to it, so it's called Double.
I love it. Well, we welcome one of the most successful, legendary punk bands of all time, NOFX, and the Bad Ass Drummer Erik, Smelly, Sandin.
Woo!
Hello!
Smelly!
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, just kidding.
Fish sticks.
Passant twig, we say it. Passant twig?
We call sicky fingers.
Oh, boy.
No. Thanks. Welcome to the show, man.
Dude, thank
Yeah.
you for having me. Like I said, I've known about the podcast for a couple of years. I've seen the van at Cliffs when I surf,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, and then here I am.
You don't see it too often, though.
I've seen it enough to where it catches my attention. A little fucking microphone on the side.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's our logo, man.
I want to give a shout out to Beer Savage.
Yeah.
Tyler.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say his last name. Borznik or...
Some fucking-
Anyways, Beer Savage.
Yeah, they hooked it up.
He's the
Awesome.
one that hooked this interview up.
Yeah, he's
Thank you.
super cool guy, and he's actually helped me out some, and this is helping me out as well. You
Yeah.
know? So thank you.
Yeah, we're here to talk your story and promote and have some good times.
Let's party.
I like
I'm
it.
sure like thousands, millions of people, surfers around the world, know exactly who NoFX is.
Fuck yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
I'm not gonna say millions. I'm gonna say dozens.
No, millions, dude. Because millions have watched
Oh man.
all the surf videos.
Yeah,
Mostly
dude.
Taylor
Taylor
Steele,
Steele. Yeah, he put that shit on the map.
Fuck yeah.
He put us and Pennywise into the surfing world.
Yeah.
You know, and then I really knew it was true that like a couple years later we're playing Australia, and there's Aki on the side of the stage watching us play.
So
I
cool.
bet you fucking 2 years earlier he didn't know who we were.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden it's like, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, Taylor really.
I mean,
Yeah.
what a great way to promote like music through
Through
surfing.
surfing,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, there's songs, and I can just see who's surf. I can just picture like that scene and that surfer
Yeah.
and that segment. And
I think we played one or two of his premieres too at the Palace in Hollywood.
nice.
I think so. Could be
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah, they did a big tour every time they released a movie.
Yeah.
So let's start at the beginning, Smelly. First, how did you get Smelly?
Well, you know what? Acid, venereal disease, and beer makes for a fucking really bad combination for farts. Yep. I'm gonna be truthful here.
Yeah.
Whoa! Acid,
Yep.
venereal disease.
Yeah, a little VD never hurt nobody. Oh, wait, I should take that back. I hurt a lot of people. All right.
And booze and
Yeah, here's the story. I was on tour in 88, something like that. I used to party a lot. A lot of drinking, a lot of drugs, a lot of acid. And I was on tour for a couple months. The band wasn't much of a band. I mean, we would just go out in the summer and just play parties.
yeah.
Somewhere along the line, I contracted a little case of VD.
Uh-huh.
And I'm coming home to my girlfriend in a week. She's not the one that gave it to me. It's going to be a really fucking hard thing to explain.
Babe, I'm in a band.
That's not going to fly. So I had known from other cases of VD in the past that tetracycline will wipe it out of your system.
Oh.
When I was a kid, I had fish tanks.
How do you spell tetracycline?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know how to spell VD. That's hard.
Yeah.
So I knew when I was a kid, I had fish tanks. And when a fish tank gets sick, you put tetracycline in it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I went to a fish store instead of going to the doctor this time. And I bought tetracycline off the shelf. Ate a bunch of tetracycline, down to a bunch of beer. I was still taking acid and stuff like that. it led to some hellacious body odors.
Wow.
Hence the name Smelly. 40 years later, here I am.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
But I didn't get caught it got rid of the VD, so I was all good.
Tetracycline.
That's incredible.
Kids, if you're listening.
It's a real true story. What you just told us is how you got the name Smelly. From acid.
Hey, we love your candidness and your just honesty right here. Like, this is insane. But,
all right, let's go back to the beginning.
I'm sure there's a few of our listeners that'd be like, I've been there, done that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might be probably not, but I would say there's a dozen people in the United States that have bought tetracycline off the fucking fish
Store.
out of the fish store to cure
I bet.
gonorrhea.
yeah.
You know?
No.
That's hilarious,
Yeah,
dude.
so here we are.
Thanks for sharing.
So, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Glendale,
Okay.
right above downtown LA. Small working, like my dad was a plumber. We didn't have much money, just, blue collar family,
Yeah.
whatever. Not, it wasn't the best environment. It's kind of a abusive household, alcoholism, and punk rock was my escape when I discovered it. It gave me an outlet. It gave me a sense of purpose and all that kind of shit.
Nice. Were you growing up just playing organized sports? Were you a skateboarder or just musician?
There was a skate park directly across the street from our house. Like, I could fucking throw a rock and hit it.
Nice.
No, my parents wouldn't let me skate it.
Why?
I don't know. Because they would have to buy me a skateboard. I don't think they had the money for that. I'd have to get the pads, all this shit. It was fucking torturous. Watching all your friends after school go and skate. It was called the Boogie Bowl.
Boogie Bowl.
Yeah, it was in the late 70s.
I just figured it would probably be because a bunch of older shenanigans go down around the skate
No,
park,
because my parents were really young when they had me. My mom was 18.
Yeah.
I just don't know. It was a weird thing. So, but yes, skating was part of my life. It was like the Southern California lifestyle: the surf, the skate, the motorcycles. Like all the shit. I had the feathered 70s hairdo. you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I had the feather 70s. It was just part of the Southern California subculture.
Yeah.
So your parents lower class, not lower class.
No, yeah.
Did your mom work or?
Yeah, she was a secretary.
Okay.
And my dad was a plumber. And
But it was hard to make ends meet.
just scraping by.
Yeah.
Yeah, just scraping by.
And they couldn't afford to put you in sports or.
I played soccer for quite a while.
Okay.
So that was one sport they allowed me to play. I played soccer for quite a while. And I was pretty good at it. But, I just didn't have a lot of support. Like, I was really into motorcycles. I was really into skating. I was really not that I was surfing then. But, but that was something like, I would go and steal magazines to look at the pictures, there was no support. There was no hey, this is something you want to explore? Let's go explore it. There was none.
Did you have any
zero.
siblings?
Yeah, I got a little sister and a brother.
Okay.
Yeah, there was none of that.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of left my own devices. Like if I wanted a new bicycle, which I never, ever, ever got a new bicycle, I would have to go hey bud, you got a wheel I could use, you got this, and I would piece together shit from out of trash, kind of.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because bikes aren't, even skateboards aren't
No.
high ticket items. It's kind of pretty every family's got them, but it does.
Even back then, though, a good skateboard setup is going to be $100 and something bucks.
I don't. In 1976, yeah, maybe $80. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
But that's a lot of fucking money back then.
Yeah, it's
Plus 3 kids. That's a lot of mouths to feed.
yeah. I don't think that was it. I just think they just my dad grew up in a really shitty situation, and I don't think he knew what support was. So he was just fuck, you don't need that. Just toughen up, whatever.
Yeah.
That kind of shit. So whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not here to bitch.
No, but it's just interesting. When you hear about those early days,
Well, that might be why I have dived, whatever, so hard into my passions in my later years when I could afford this stuff. Because when I was a kid, all this shit I would, the neighbors would have motorcycles, and it's not about what they have that I was jealous about. It was that hurt. It was the support that they got from their family, right? That speaks volumes.
Yeah.
So when I got older though and started making a living, it's like I went balls deep into motorcycles, balls deep into skating, balls deep into surfing, you know, all that kind of stuff, because I was just making up for that.
So when did you finally get yourself a skateboard?
I would get. I actually worked in a wood shop. At 12 years old, I worked at a wood factory, cabinet factory, and I built myself a deck. I built myself a mahogany deck, and built a little angle for the kick pad.
Yeah.
And pieced together some old trucks from the neighborhood. There was that. That was the first one, and then I bought a shitty Logan. It was a Logan Earth Ski. No, it was a shitty, like one of those plastic ones, but everybody else had these fucking bitchin' beautiful, like the Dogtails and all that shit.
Yeah.
Like killer graphics.
Yeah.
Killer lines,
Yeah. And I was like on this little thing put together. On that first board, that one I built, I put a cat food lid can, what you take off of the thing, across the back of the tail. So when I would turn,
Spark.
that, but so it wouldn't go through the woods to preserve it, because it was like, fuck
It's
this.
like a custom skid plate.
Yeah, I gotta.
You're 12 years old, you make your own skateboard.
Yeah.
You put.
I used to fucking make rail grabs out of wood and take it to that skate park and sell them for like $1.50 for the rail grab. I mean,
No way.
yeah, and the people would just screw them on, but they're out of wood. They wouldn't last very long. But
Yeah.
It's a
Did
good
you
idea.
ever finally get to skate that place?
Never. It closed. I never skated it. It was open for like 5 years maybe. It closed when I was in 7th or 8th grade, and I rode my bicycle in it.
Wow.
And
What was it? A couple of hips? Was there just like a bowl?
No,
like,
there was 3 bowls, but it was like 70s style. There was no coping. It was rounded in.
Yeah.
A snake run. It was pretty small, but it was a legitimate skate park.
Yeah.
Legitimate.
Boogie Bowl.
The Boogie Bowl.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Right.
And you were in BMXs?
Yeah, I was into BMX, and the same thing though. Like I would just ride bikes that people were like, "Hey, my parents got me a new bike. You can ride this one," kind of a deal. Or
That's
whatever.
cool.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I was just I was a Southern California kid. I really enjoyed, that stuff just really resonated with me.
Yeah.
The BMX, the skating, all of it.
Yeah, I remember, like, I never got into BMX, but
was
there's
big.
kids
Oh,
that
yeah.
that were into it, and I remember FMF.
Yeah.
Like, those were the best fucking.
Well, FMX
GT, Diamondback.
Yeah.
The Mongoose
Mongoose.
Mongoose was like the first one that like really put it on the map.
Yeah.
But there was GT, Diamondback. There was like the PK Rippers. And
Yeah.
there was all
And the grips
SW
were
or whatever.
insane.
Yeah, all of it.
The Oakley, I think, started making grips
Dude,
first,
I was
right?
a kid. I would like get like a BMX Plus magazine and just look at every picture and just dissect.
Yeah.
Like, oh, those wheels are anodized and those pedals have little nubs on. Just dissect everything.
Yeah.
Because I bring up
Aluminum
FMF
pedals.
because I used to think, man, what does FMF stand for? Fast motherfucker?
What was it? Flying Machine Factory or something like that?
I don't know, but I kept saying fast motherfucker.
Yeah.
That works too. It probably was.
Yeah, we grew up here in Huntington, or I did. Sorry, this guy did.
I'm from Long Beach.
But there was a ton of undeveloped fields,
Fuck yeah.
and that's
Tracks
what everybody did. You'd grab a shovel, you'd be seeing a pack of kids with shovels, and you'd be go build your own park.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Sheep Hills, and there's some other good spots for sure. But
Sheep Hills is still there. I walked
Yeah.
through it recently.
yeah,
Pretty
Yeah.
rad.
Yeah.
Pretty rad.
So, how old were you when you finally got to surf?
Well, when we
Or
would,
boogie board or
I would boogie board. Like I saved. This is one of the biggest fights I ever had. Like I saved up like $30, $35 from doing like chores and my jobs and shit like that. I would say it was 1979, 1980, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go buy a boogie board." Because we would go to the beach occasionally, or some kids in the neighborhood occasionally. Plus, I just wanted it, that Southern California thing. So my dad was like, "No, you are not allowed to buy a boogie board." And I'm like, "It's my own money. You're not gonna," it was like this huge fight. My mom actually stuck up for me. It's like, let him just fucking go get us whatever he wants. So anyways, I got that boogie board, and I started boogie boarding. Like 8 times a year or whatever it is.
yeah.
But it got in my blood. Like it got like feeling the way I was feeling it. And one thing we would do is that was good in the family is we would go to Hawaii pretty much every winter
nice.
because my dad's brother lived out there. And so I took that boogie board with me.
Yes.
And I actually started charging shit. Like used to do the Waimea shore pound, just you know. They lived up on the hill.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I actually paddled out at Pipe. But on a surfboard when I was 16, not knowing how to really surf.
Oh my god.
I still got a little bit of a scar on my stomach. My cousins who like, let's go surf. I'm like, okay, let's go surf. You know, there's your surfboard. And they could surf. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking.
Taking you? Like,
Yeah, I mean,
hey, like,
it might have been.
Go out?
It might have been only. I mean, I don't remember. It might have only been a couple feet overhead.
Yeah, but still.
Or it could have been fucking. I don't know. It was before there was only a couple of houses there. There was the bushes. There was no bike path. Nothing.
Wow.
And I remember just going, "What the fuck am I doing out here?" And I got sucked over with one.
Done.
But your cousins grew up there.
Yeah.
And surfed all their lives. But
Not
you
all
guys
their lives, but they they grew up there. They, I mean, they don't surf now or nothing.
But you guys got to go there.
Oh, I was there in the
every year?
70s and the 80s.
That's killer.
Late 70s and early 80s, yeah.
And what was the boogie board that you bought? You
It
remember?
was a morning boogie.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you get a leash with it?
Fuck yeah. And I even put popped the fins in the back, and pop the holes through it.
The handle, the fins. I mean, we were talking about like boards, skateboards, and all the accessories.
Yeah.
Same thing with the boogie.
Yeah.
Like there was no spins. There's just you wanted stags.
Did you start on a boogie?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just wanted to go down the line.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, shore break barrel riding was kind of like that was it.
Yeah.
Would you steal you're talking about magazines? Would you steal Action Now?
Fuck yeah, man, that was a little bit of everything. Get the motorcycles, you get the surfing, all that stuff. Yeah.
Action Now was like kind of like the first avant-garde sort of action
good.
sports magazine.
Yeah.
And do you remember Breaker Out or Breakout magazine? That was like a full legit surf magazine.
I don't remember that one.
And the guy that started it is a friend of ours, George. God, now I forget his last name.
Yeah.
Anyways,
But yeah, I mean the magazine, like you go to the supermarket or 7-Eleven or any of the stores, and they would have a freaking magazine
rack.
like half
Yes.
an aisle magazine rack.
I used to, like, when my mom would go, like, let's go to the grocery store, I'd be stoked. And I
Yeah.
would just park my ass in the magazines and motorcycle or surfing or
Yeah.
whatever, and
Yeah.
just, just go off.
Like, hit me up when you're done, Mom.
Yeah, that was what it was. I'd get a little whistle, I'd walk over, and that was it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Remember Mad Magazines?
Of course. In a fold. You fold up, it wasn't the back page, whatever,
Yeah.
you fold it into the other picture.
What was that guy's name? The
Alfred E.
cartoon?
Newman.
Yeah, Alfred E. Newman. That was the best. So, you're in Glendale. Do you remember the first time you surfed? Like, where did you surf in California?
We would go, like, in the summertime, we would go to Santa Monica, but the first time probably, like, was Newport. A kid up the street, they got a summer house down in Newport, and I went down there for like a week or something like that.
Nice.
So when I say surfing, you know what it looks like, a kid that's from the valley, whatever, paddles out on the weekend, popping a lily or just. But I got the taste of it. I got the taste of it.
And
Well, who's
Newport.
this dude?
This is Duke.
Hey, Duke, what's happening?
Tutoring, that's what it.
What's happening?
Tutoring.
Tutoring.
Oh, man, tutoring sucks, huh?
Yeah.
How old are you?
7.
Yeah.
Hey, grab a snack and some to drink. You got like 15 minutes.
Tutor come here?
It's just online, and put them in the office over here and just go online. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, they're gonna set up over here just next to us. We're gonna talk about VD some more.
Oh, yeah, I better watch it.
so Newport,
Yeah.
you got to stay for a week one time?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking, when I was 15 or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Like glorified beach days, all day. Like,
Dude,
Yeah, that's what it was.
Or
Or
a kid from Glendale gets to spend a week on the beach
This is
in
what-
Newport.
yeah.
yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's gotta be like a high point.
Dude, it's completely different from where I grew up. But what I would do, this is like when I was like 13, 14 years old with that boogie board,
Yeah.
is I would take the bus from Glendale all the way to Redondo Beach in the summer. Like my
Right.
parents would say, just go.
Yeah.
Or not just go, I would just go.
Yeah.
And it would take 2 hours, and I would take the bus all the way to Redondo,
Yeah.
get off at the place called the Green Store or something like that.
Huh.
It was a liquor store where they would sell beer to me. I got 14 years old then. And it was one of those things, like all day. Get there about 9 in the morning because you leave at the puck track. and then stay till 5 at night, and then a 2-hour bus ride back. Have to do a transfer in downtown LA, carrying a fucking boogie board, you know, red as a lobster at the end of the day because there's
Right.
no sunscreen.
No sunscreen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
that often.
And that, I mean, that
These
those
guys.
were such an adventure, you know? Like, I mean,
That shit doesn't happen these days.
No.
no. I used to get on the bus. I was fortunate, like Lyndon said, I lived right here. I could bike down, skateboard,
Right.
you know. It's about a mile. I wouldn't have, you know, I wouldn't
Yeah.
walk. I'd skateboard or bike. But in the summer, waves, you know, big closeout swells, I would get my bike and I'd get down to the pier and I'd get on the number 1 bus and go all the way down to Lowers on the bus.
You go to Lowers?
Yeah.
How long that take? A couple hours?
Two and a half hours.
And then
depending.
walk down.
Yeah. No, I'd have a skateboard with me. I'd bring a
Well,
skateboard,
get
or
your
walk.
ass
Yeah.
down.
Yeah. And it cost me $1.25 each way. And usually on the way back, I'd find somebody that was coming back to Huntington or Newport,
They give you a ride?
and there was no like seatbelt laws back then, and we just pile in the back of trucks. And I'd be
You're like
like,
14 years old?
yeah, for sure.
Dude,
Yeah.
there's no way in hell I would let my kids do that.
I
Right.
know.
Yeah.
Or how about sitting in the back of a truck on the wheel well doing 80 on the freeway?
My
You know, I'm like,
my dad used to love me that he'd be drinking and driving all the time and load me and the other kids up in the back of the truck and just go.
yeah.
It was fucking.
I was freaking out on the kids last night, like buckling up. We're driving back from Mammoth. I'm all, put your seatbelts on, you know?
Yeah.
And they just want to like lay down in the back, and I'm like, you know,
No.
yeah, no,
Yeah. We definitely lived
different, yeah.
differently than kids today. It's
Yeah.
kind
And
of
we're not like helicopter parents by any means. We just, you know, you want safety, you know, like you just know from,
Well, we're conditioned a different way now.
oh, definitely.
You know, like
Just common sense.
yeah.
Don't put the kid in the back of a fucking pickup truck while you're driving down the goddamn freeway.
Hey, it worked for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was probably some
Well,
red
look,
splatter.
The problem is there's way more drivers, and now there's
Oh, and they're doing this the
cell
whole time.
phones,
Yeah,
there's
that's true.
texting, and then cars go way faster now.
Dude, I like this kid.
Yeah.
You're all right. I don't care what your dad says.
This kid's cool.
Are you cool?
Yeah.
Do you surf?
Yeah.
Do you
Little
shred?
bit.
Do you shred?
Yeah.
Office. Office.
Hello.
I'll come turn on the computer in a minute.
So, back to what was your first surfboard? And did you have a surfboard in Newport?
God, there was I don't know, something laying around. There was also a Moray Doyle, like one of those foamy guys.
Yeah.
My first surfboard that was mine? Fuck, I can't even remember. But, so, when I was a kid in my teens and stuff like that, I never had a surfboard. I would just try and paddle out or whatever was there. Lucky if I stood up, no, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But when I moved to Long Beach 30 years ago, I started.
After high school, or
No, well, I got out of high school in '85.
okay,
And then I was lost for quite a few years. And then in '92, I got sober. And I moved to Long Beach in '93. You know, I moved in with a friend and never been there before. Moved in '93 and I haven't left. It's a fucking great community.
yeah,
And I didn't start surfing until a couple years after that. Like surfing, got a board, like went and started doing it.
okay.
Yeah.
So, backtrack a little bit. When did you find punk rock and?
When I was when I first heard punk rock and it resonated with me, I was probably 14-ish, 13, 14. And I was driving with my uncle in a car and it was late at night and I heard the Ramones song called Beat on the Brat.
Nice.
And it was like this lyric go beat on the brat with a baseball bat. And I'm like, whoa, this is gnarly. It's talking about smacking a kid around with a baseball bat. And for some reason it resonated. It just
Raw.
grabbed. Yeah, it grabbed my attention. It was like, what the hell is this? And then around the same time I was looking through a magazine, like a People magazine or maybe remember that rock magazine called Cream?
Yeah,
You know, I don't know. Just some sort
I
of
remember Cream.
yeah, just some sort of magazine. And there was a picture of this band called the Dead Boys.
Dead Boys.
Yeah, they were a punk band from New York City, and they were like all just greasy and slimy. Like maybe they just played a show, but they looked weird. One guy had a shaved head and shaved eyebrows, you know, and they were in some alley, and skinny and junky looking. And I was about the same age, and that really, I was like, it was scary, it was weird, and I wanted to know more about it. You know what I mean? I was like, what the fuck is this?
Intrigued.
And then shortly thereafter, I was at a swap meet, and I saw a Dead Boys cassette, and it had pretty much that same picture on the cover. So my first cassette was the Dead Boys that I stole. I stole it. I stole my
At the
first
swap meet.
That was punk before I even knew what punk was.
Yeah.
Like I stole it, and from then on, I was off and running. It spoke to me. Like the music was loud, it was fast, it was in your face, it was aggressive, it was volatile. It sounds kind of weird. It was sort of like my house, so I could relate to it, but it also gave me an outlet.
Yeah.
You know.
It's interesting because I mean, yeah, you resonate like based on what you've been through or gone through, and all the music up until then was probably like stuff your parents listened to, because that's what happens when you
Classic rock.
you're in the
My
car.
dad would be blasting Heart or Purple or
Which is cool to have, you know, all kinds of music, but it didn't speak to you because you know, it was their music.
Right, and I'm sure like they found their music, like the rock and roll, and it spoke to them the way punk rock spoke to me.
Yeah.
Did you play any instruments when you were young?
When I was a kid, I played guitar for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, and it was like, whatever, this isn't for me. But music was always part of my household.
Okay.
And the one positive thing about my household is my dad always had music, good taste, from like eclectic jazz to like Black Sabbath.
Wow.
And something was always being played.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I used to to escape a lot of the noise when I was a kid, I would put on a record, put on the headphones, and just drift off and just dissect or fall into the music. So it was always part of me, and I always wanted to play it. And I ended up playing it.
Yeah.
So what you played drums, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you gravitate to the drums?
So when I was about 14, maybe 15-ish. Maybe I heard the Dead Boys like when I was like 12 or 13, and then when I was like 14, that's probably more right. Some kids in the neighborhood, some kids moved into the neighborhood, and they were, hey dude, we're gonna start a band, we're gonna start a punk band. Like they kind of had the same taste.
Yeah.
And pretty much it was like, who wants to play guitar? Andrew, you play guitar, you play bass, and the drums was like the only thing left. And I was like, fuck, I'll play drums.
Because that's like, you know, guitar you can bring anywhere, play anywhere in your room. Parents probably cool with it. When you, hey, I want to play the drums. That's like a huge commitment.
It's a commitment, man. And the neighbors weren't too appreciative. And,
Yeah.
You know?
That's the most like appalling instrument.
It's
Except the accordion.
Why are you laughing, bro?
somebody here plays the accordion.
I played for 12 freaking years,
How the fuck do you do that?
dude.
Parents.
Parents.
You know what's gonna get chicks?
Child abuse.
Yeah, accordion, man. I'm gonna get laid.
The accordion. He had strict.
The show's not about the accordion.
Yeah. We'll talk later about it.
So you started playing drums in this band with your neighborhood kids.
Yeah.
Did you have a name?
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty heavily into drugs, and the rest of us were too. We were the Acid Tommy experience. I started doing drugs and drinking really young, and these guys were a couple years older than me, except for one of them. But yeah, so we were the Acid Tommy experience, and we would just play like covers, you know, like Louie Louie or this or that.
I mean, that's kind of how you start, right?
Yeah,
For the most part.
because
you guys
just
learn
follow
the tempo and technique and
yeah. But then shortly thereafter, I was dating some girl, and there was sort of a popular punk band. I was probably 15 at the time. There was sort of a popular punk band called Caustic Cause. This is like 1981, and they were looking for a drummer. And this girl that I was dating knew them, and she's like, "Hey, why don't you, Caustic Cause?" And I was like, "Okay, cool." They were all in their 30s, and I was like 15.
Wow.
Dang.
Yeah. So they came to my house and we played, and this is probably within 6 months, maybe 9 months of me starting. And they could really play. They were like good musicians.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like punk rock good, but good.
Yeah.
And
sorry to interject here, but we always talk about that age gap between 18 and 15 is huge.
yeah, these guys were in their 30s.
And
They were
guys
age
are
my
in their
parents.
30s. Yeah.
Age my parents, literally.
So how did you learn how to read music, or just all by sound and
all by
feel?
sound and feel. Like I just picked it up naturally, and then since these guys were really good musicians, my drumming really escalated quick.
Mm.
Because I had a natural knack for it.
Yeah.
They could play well, so it became much easier than playing with a bunch of beginners.
So that first night that they jammed with you,
I was playing songs with them.
and were they like, "You're good, kid"?
Kind of, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
they
were surprised.
They invited me into the band. You know,
You're
"Yeah, you
15 years old. These guys are 30 years old.
yeah,
First time.
32 and 34. One of them had a family with kids and shit.
That's freaking mind
And
blowing.
what do your parents say? Like, I'm joining this band with a bunch of parents.
Yeah, I
Didn't
don't
say
know.
anything.
They didn't say anything. I mean, I don't remember it being even like it just was what it was. Like,
Yeah.
you know, at that time I
Now,
was
were
going,
these guys like playing at bars and
like playing shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, like bars.
auditoriums and theaters and
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah.
And they were making money.
No. I mean, it was
No
still,
money.
it was still punk rock. Like you put one night we played in front of 40 people. The next night we playing another show. The next weekend in front of 400 people. You know, like maybe $100 here or there, $200. And I didn't drive, so they would drive to my parents' house. I couldn't drive. I didn't have my driver's license.
Yeah.
They drive. They pick me up. We'd go play. They drop me off. They go home.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
It's wild.
not to get too deep in the drugs thing, but what kind of drugs were you doing at that age?
At
Weed.
weed, drinking,
Acid.
Acid
some
already?
pills, acid, you know, just kid shit.
Yeah.
You know, as I got older, by the time I was 19, I was shooting heroin, like full blown junkie. Like,
You're freaking
Wow.
kidding me.
I shot heroin from 19 to 27. Homeless, one of those guys in the street corner panhandling. Because the band wasn't a band. I mean, NOFX was a band, but we were, the guys were at school,
Yeah.
you know, all this stuff. I wasn't, you know, we were just, hey, we got a show, you know, next weekend at a party, and they just picked me up someplace. We were just a hobby.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was a homeless drug addict for a long time.
Nuts.
That is mind blowing. All right, we'll get to that part. But okay, so you're 15 and you join this band with these 30-plus-year-olds. Did you guys play a lot of gigs, or?
No, I mean, I would probably, I was probably played 20 or 30 shows with them.
Nice.
You know, like sometimes we'd play a couple times a month, sometimes we wouldn't play. You know, it was just like it was also more of a hobby, but we were doing shows. Like they had real jobs and stuff
Yeah.
like that, but we were doing real shows, like playing like actual clubs and opening up for bigger bands and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
You know,
that's so bizarre.
yeah.
Like,
And so my drumming really, like I said, excelled because it had to. They were good musicians, and it made it real easy to excel.
how many did they do? Any albums or?
We have a couple songs and some compilations, but no, we didn't do any albums. Yeah.
Did they do covers or?
No, it was all originals.
Wow,
Yeah, all originals. Yeah,
that's crazy.
yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
And how long was each song? Was it like typical punk rock, like freaking
We-
a minute and a half, 3 minutes
Yeah,
long?
there was that, but it wasn't like typical in your face punk rock. It was like we had surf style songs, we had jazz style songs, we had punk rock style songs. You know, since they were really good musicians, there was a lot of different musical tastes coming in. You know, so yeah, the songs would, you know, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
You know.
How many people are in the band?
Oh Jesus, 5? We actually had a saxophone player at one point too, so maybe 6.
Wow.
Me, Chip. Yeah, 5 or 6.
Yeah. That's a trip because that most punk rock bands are just a bass, a guitar, maybe a rhythm guitar,
Yeah.
and a drummer
Yeah.
and a singer.
We had, that's what we had, and then we would bring in, that's a 5-piece, and then we would bring in the saxophone player occasionally. That makes 6.
I don't think I've ever heard a saxophone.
Yeah, well, we had some like some surf music and some
Yeah.
other kind of shit and some jazzy shit. Yeah, he didn't do a lot, but he did do some
Yeah.
stuff. I can't remember his name though.
So how long were you in that band for?
It's in that band for probably a year, maybe a little longer, but probably about a year. And when I was in that band, I met the guys in NOFX.
Okay.
And they lived in Hollywood, and they asked me to play with them. Actually, I had known Mike for a couple years prior to that. He asked me, and I couldn't because I didn't have a car. You know, those guys would come to me,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
You're 15 or 16 years old.
So I finally got my driver's license, and I could play with the NOFX guys. They were my age, they were my peers. They were into skating, into the same shit as me. So I quit the band with the old guys to go play with the young guys who are actually like my friends.
Yeah.
But the rub on that is the guys in NOFX couldn't play for shit. Like, they were full beginners. So I was taking a huge step backwards musically.
Yeah.
And my drumming went from like being pretty fucking good back to being shitty, because you only rise is to how high the cream is around you.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and I got really shitty again really quick.
So, why did you quit? Like,
Why did I quit Costa Cause?
yeah.
To play with NOFX, because they were my age. They were like my peers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the guys in Costa Cause were in their 30s. They had families. They had real jobs. I couldn't talk about skating. I couldn't.
Yeah.
The guys. They're like my buds. I would go to shows and hang out with them. It's like, let's do this. It's like, okay, let's do it. So I quit the other band. I mean, there was a second when they overlapped, but I quit Costa Cause to join NOFX.
Yeah. But they weren't that good.
Oh, they're horrible. We were horrible. Like, they couldn't even fucking play.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you got to go through those motions, though.
Yeah.
You got to.
It was just about hanging out and having a good time.
Yeah.
It wasn't about playing shows. It wasn't about being a rock band or a punk band or any kind of celebrity. It was just like about just having fun.
Yeah.
And that's what punk rock always has been for me. I don't do it. I mean, yeah, I get paid to do it, but I never did it for that reason.
Yeah.
I did it because it was just fun.
Yeah, you're the highlight of the party every time.
Yeah, it's just a good time.
You're hanging with the bros,
Yeah.
having fun.
Yeah.
So you graduate in 85.
It should have been 84, but it was 85.
Okay.
Yeah.
From Glendale.
From Glendale.
And then you said you got lost for a while.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean it was
And this is during NOFX days.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean what it was is I grew up feeling insecure, inferior, less than everybody. I had learning disabilities, so I felt I wasn't smart. I was told I wasn't smart. All of these insecurities put inside of me, and I lived off of that. And the best way to like feel better about yourself is to inebriate yourself, because then you forget about all that shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I started doing drugs and drinking really young. And then by the time I was 19, like it had really got me by the balls, and the lost years were, really dark.
Yeah.
What were you doing for money outside of that? Like, what was your first job, and what were you?
I had a bunch of like little stupid side jobs. Like,
Yeah.
I worked in a factory putting vitamins on a fucking conveyor belt.
Yeah.
I worked in another factory putting those UV stickers on sunglasses. That I worked at Kentucky Fried Chicken. Just a bunch of stupid little side jobs. But when the drugs really, really took over, I was pretty much unemployable. I worked at the LA Weekly for a long time as a driver, but I would steal books. Like I would shoplift books and then sell them back to another book guy at 20% of the cover price.
Wow.
So this guy had to hustle.
Yeah.
He would go to book fairs and in swap meets and sell these expensive books for cheap. So he would tell me and my friends, I want you to get
Steal these books.
yeah, steal this architecture book, steal this art
Yeah,
book,
list.
steal this. Yeah, like this style or this author or this whatever.
Wow.
And these are like $200 books, and he would give us 20% of the cover.
Dang.
Yeah, so I did that for a long time. Long time.
Weird side hustle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
do what you gotta do.
Dude, if there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
And that guy had like a whole fucking he probably had like 15 of us doing it. Like what a fucking scummy dude though. Taking
Right.
advantage of all these like disenfranchised, lost kids in their
Yeah.
late teens, early 20s. Just using them for his
Pretty
advantage.
much. Yeah.
Think about that devious industry and how that multiply that by
Every
1,000.
industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, throughout the country, throughout the world.
Yeah.
Like,
There's always a dude taking advantage of the fucking youngers.
Yeah.
There's always a dude taking advantage of somebody else.
Yeah,
when
he's
they're
not,
in
no
games.
sweat off his back. He's not going to get caught. He's just,
Yeah. He's doing you a favor.
I mean, he kind of was, but at the same time, I was doing him way more of a favor, and he was taking advantage of me.
Yeah.
When did you, you said your household, you had alcoholism. When did you bounce out of your house? Like
The
early?
day after I graduated high school.
Okay. so-
Pretty much. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe not literally the day, but within a couple weeks.
Yeah.
I was out.
That was coming. You're like, I'm out as
Yeah.
soon as I can.
I moved to Santa Barbara.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why Santa Barbara?
I had a girlfriend at the time. She got accepted to UCSB, and then I was like, okay, cool. I'll go to Santa Barbara, and that's actually where I found heroin. In
Oof.
Santa Barbara, yeah. Santa Barbara is a beautiful place, but it
Yeah.
has a very dark subculture. All these rich kids with too much fucking money, too much time on their hands, and daddy's fucking credit card. There's a lot of fucking drugs up there.
Right. Yeah.
A lot.
I always say, like, you know, private schools and the more affluent areas, like you said, they have the means and they
Yeah.
have the connections.
Right.
And they have the best drugs, the best pills, the best.
Yeah, and so Santa Barbara, and also Santa Barbara has a little sketchy vibe to it too. There's like a poor community as well. You don't really see it, but there is.
Yeah.
So it was fucking everywhere, and that's where it started.
And there was a good punk scene up there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I fell into it right away.
Now, are you still playing in NOFX then?
Actually, I quit NoFX. I quit NoFX for about a year, and I was playing in another band up there. I just met some guys. We started another band, and then I rejoined NoFX a year later, or so
Yeah.
maybe even less than a year.
So, heroin is so stupid and gnarly, and like, I want to scare people, you know, any kids that would listen to this and go, why would you ever do that?
I just wanted to belong, because I was always told I was dumb. I was always told I was a piece of shit, or at least I felt that way. You know, I could never do anything right. So I was just looking for acceptance any way that I fucking could. And when you feel really shitty about yourself, you look for other people that feel shitty about themselves. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like you gravitate towards.
Yeah. You want
I was
same
always-
leveling,
yeah.
same field,
Right.
same like.
I was always getting in trouble. So the best way to combat that is go hang out with people that don't have high expectations, you know?
Yeah.
So I'd hang out with other people. So we'd like have this little, you know.
We said it before in the last episode that we did, misery loves company.
Yeah. So I was always looking for acceptance, and I felt weak, I felt small. So what I did is I put a big bravado on, and I started like, fuck me, look how gnarly I am. I'm doing fucking drugs, this, that. But it was all to cover up my insecurities and the pain inside.
Yeah.
And, you know, this isn't shit that I knew at the time, but it was after years and years of therapy and all that kind of stuff that I figured it out,
Yeah.
you know.
Because that is like the worst drug to get hooked on.
It is so much worse now, man. It is so much fucking worse.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's the devil, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
it is fucking so gross.
And you did it for how long?
8 years.
How do you survive that?
A couple times I didn't. You know, I mean, I got lucky. I came out. I OD'd a couple times. I got lucky, man. I got fucking lucky. When I was done, I knew I was done. I lost my family. I lost my friends. I had lost everything. I was fucking homeless, panhandling. And then the only thing I had left was the band. And the band wasn't even a band at the time. We were just still like just playing an occasional party. But they were my last piece of reality. And if I lost my last piece of reality, it was the last thing that I held dear to me that was still mine. If I lost that, I'd have nothing, and
Yeah.
I would just be
So
gone.
you're in Santa Barbara with your girlfriend that's going to school, and you find heroin. What were you doing for work? Or
At that time, I was working at this place called it was called the Remnant Shop. It was just a fabric shop. Some old lady ran, and I would just cut cloth, and, you know, and then put the Domino's pizza. Just a little stupid kid shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Just to get by, make some money.
Yeah.
What on the punk scene up there, I had some friends send me some questions. He's really into punk, and he brought up nardcore.
Yeah.
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 And he's all, you know, there was
There was a
heavy,
good scene up there.
yeah, good scene and stuff.
Nardcore comes from the Oxnard area.
Yeah.
You know? And Santa Barbara was kind of tied into that because it's all part of up there.
For sure.
But yeah, man, it's trippy. Like these little fucking beach communities, even like when you beach at it, has this like little like,
yeah,
fuck you, this little pissy like underground society. You know what I mean?
HFL and
We had a pretty gnarly scene here. Like
Yeah.
growing up, like Huntington was gritty and gnarly and underground. Like
Dude, I
stuff
mean,
too.
Main Street wasn't like it is now.
No.
Like 20 years ago, wasn't like it is now.
No, barely. Just started kind of researching.
That was when it started.
Yeah.
You know, like where Poncho's is, Poncho's Tacos, is that what it's called? Yeah.
Sancho's.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to call that Java Germany because there was always like white supremacist guys hanging out. There was a it was a coffee
It's Java
shop.
Jungle.
Yeah.
Java Jungle, yeah.
Yeah.
No, Huntington Beach definitely had a fucking vibe about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could tell who are the, you know, the skinheads, who are the punks, who are like
The bikers.
Yeah, like there was definitely like all
Perks was the
bikers,
biker bar, and
yeah.
So how long were you in Santa Barbara for?
I was only in Santa Barbara a couple of years. And then I went to San Francisco, then LA, then San Francisco. Then during those 8 years of heroin, I was all over the place. I couldn't, you know, just one of those transient kind of homeless fucking guys. You know, they would get a ride to San Francisco. Like, fuck, you know, I would have friends up there. Fuck it, I'm going to go up to San Francisco. And I would stay there for 9 months. And I'm going to go back down to LA, and I'd get a ride down to LA or take a Greyhound and then live in Hollywood on the streets for time, you know, whatever it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you lived on the streets, panhandling.
I'm going to back up. I did do homeless nights, but I did a lot of couch surfing. You know, there's a difference. It's not like I had a fucking cardboard box and all this kind of shit. There were nights that I did sleep outside, but I also had friends that I stay at this house for 4 or 5 days, this house for 2 days. You know,
bounce around.
Yeah, the surfer guys do that shit too. You know, but
did you have a car or
at times, and at times no. You know, sometimes I would, sometimes I wouldn't. You know, I'd somehow scrounge up some money and get like a $300 beater, and then drive it until it got towed because I wasn't paying my tickets, and then that was it.
So did for 8 years you kind of
just floated
around and panhandled and made
stole books, would go on tour and make a couple $100 after like 2 months of tour, you know. But tour wasn't tour. It would be like the guys were in school, or a single guy was in school, and you go like, all right, dude, I'm picking you up June 9th. We're gonna go drive around the United States. He had a van. I'm like, okay, cool. So June 9th, he'd pick me up wherever the fuck I was, get in the van, I'd kick heroin for the first week, and then we would just go and play parties across the U.S.
So as your band started getting more popular and getting more gigs, it was all during that time you were floating around?
It's kind of weird. Like, I floated around until, it was picking up a little bit of steam. A little bit. Like, our shows went from 4 people to 8 people, and 8 people to 25 people, you know. But we were just doing it to have fun. It didn't matter if there was 4 people or 25. We were just having fun, you know.
And your bandmates knew what you were going through.
Yeah. And they were cool with it because they drank, they did acid, and they were like, dude, heroin's just his drug of choice. He shows up, he plays fine, you know, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know, they would do, you know, blow and
yeah, they do different drugs, and like, you're showing up. You're not.
I'm showing up. I wasn't fucking up until I was.
Yeah.
You know, and then
at these, like, when you guys are traveling, are you guys pressing your own little cassette player? Are you guys making merch? Or are you guys
we would print up merch. Like we would go to this guy's warehouse in downtown LA and print up our own merch. Buy the shirts for like $1 each, and then sell them for like $5 on the road. And we would take sheets of acid with us and sell them on the road to get gas money. And we would sell bunk sheets of acid. You know, like there was just paper.
We'll never see these people again.
Right.
Yeah.
$100 is yours. You know what I mean? So no, we had little hustles on the road.
Who came up with the name NOFX, and what is it?
I think Melvin, our guitar player, did, and it was like NOFX is like there's just no gimmicks, NOFX.
Yeah.
What you see is what we are. Like we're just fucking 4 dumb dudes.
Yeah.
You know,
just plain simple.
Yeah.
And like there was never a time where they're like, dude, you're a heroin addict, you're kicked off the
Well, it got progressively worse and worse, and to where it actually did start affecting my performance. Affecting my reliability, you know, but this is years and years and years later on. Like, I still took a lot of pride in playing. I still took a lot of pride in the band, even though I didn't take any pride in my life. It still meant something to me.
Yeah.
So in 1992, I started when I was 19. In 1992, I was 27. They said, oh, dude, you either go to rehab or you're out. And I could tell it was serious. Like, it was serious. And that's when I had the epiphany that if I lost the band, I would have lost anything and everything that meant something to me.
Yeah.
Because of this. And this is not who I am. And I'd been battling with it inside for a while. Like,
But you needed that hard talk.
Yeah.
You needed that somebody to put you straight. And luckily you had that passion of music and playing that kind of snap you out of it.
So I checked myself into rehab, and under the thought of It was a 60-day program. I'm going to give it 100% everything I got for all 60 days. If I get high the second I leave, at least I gave it a shot. You know, I had never followed through with anything else in my life before.
Wow.
I'd never. But I'm going to give this, and I gave it the 100% shot. I really did. Every fucking
Took it to heart, listened to the
Took it to
people,
heart. Yeah,
like did
listened.
everything they did, said.
Yeah, they said do this, I did that. You know,
Yeah.
I haven't gotten high since. I haven't gotten high since. And then coincidentally, that is right when the band.
Blew up.
Yep, that's right when Offspring came out. Or Green Day fucking hit big. We were making $150 a show, and then all of a sudden we're making fucking, you know, $3,000. You know,
Yeah.
and I like.
The scene
I haven't
turned
had
on.
I haven't had a job since. You know, it's
Yeah.
so fucking weird. Like it
Wow.
was like all the stars aligned. You got to get your shit together. I got my shit together.
Boom.
Yep.
Now you're a band making money.
Yep.
So between 18 and 27 is when you were doing that, right?
19.
19 and 27.
That's when I was doing heroin, but I mean, I started other shit way earlier.
Yeah. But you never really, you were on the streets pretty much.
Yeah, like I said, like running around.
Yeah,
You know,
running around.
I'd have a place,
Couch surfing.
or like, hey, you can share my room for a month, and I'd share this room for a month. Like, dude, you got to get the fuck out. Then I'd go here, or you know, or couch surfing, or you know, yeah. I did
Were
not
you
have.
skateboarding and surfing too?
No, it wasn't.
Nothing.
I was skateboarding because a lot of times my mode of transportation wasn't skateboarding.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so I was skating a lot, but that was just for transportation.
Were your parents, like, did you talk to your parents during that time?
Occasionally, I'd milk them for money. You know,
Yeah.
like, Mom, I need $20 because of blah 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 blah. You know, and,
Yeah.
but you know, I wasn't really allowed around. You know, because
Yeah.
it's just, you know, I was a junkie. You know?
Tough love.
Yeah.
Plus, yeah, you don't want to be.
I didn't want to be around.
Yeah.
You know, it hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have the best environment growing up. It wasn't very good, but at the same time, it was still my parents.
Yeah.
You know?
So you got sober at 27.
Mm-hmm.
What happened after that? Like,
Well, so I got sober. I got out of rehab. I got a little apartment. Shared a little apartment with some dude I didn't know. Just moved in with some guy, a friend of a friend. Stayed there for a year. Was going to meetings. Didn't have a car. Taking the bus. This was in 92, 93. Taking the bus to meetings. I was living in Hollywood and I was doing all the things I was supposed to be doing. Like, you know, what everybody told me, go to meetings, be of service, put your hand out, talk to newcomers, all that kind of shit. But it was Hollywood. Everybody was really pretentious and I couldn't fucking relate and they couldn't relate to me. And everybody's talking about like their movie script, like in AA meetings and stuff, or NA meetings, their movie script that they didn't get, or the Pepsi commercial, or, you know, it's just like, oh, this is fucking
Weird.
yeah.
Yeah. So I had a friend of mine, this guy named AJ, who's from Long Beach. I knew he was in the program. I hit him up. He said, come down to Long Beach. I'll take you to a meeting here. Went to a meeting that night. I met everybody that I'm still friends with.
Wow.
How cool.
Yeah, that I'm still friends with. And I moved down the following weekend with AJ. Because all of a sudden I was in a room with people like me.
Yeah.
You know, that same music scene, the same drug scene, the same this. There was no like script talk or
Yeah.
like bullshit. You know, it was fucking real. So then I lived. That was in '93. I moved to Long Beach, and then I started surfing a couple years after that.
What did you do for money then?
That's when the band was starting to take off. So I
Okay.
didn't have to work. I'd go on tour for like back then. I would go on tour for 3 months, and I'd come home with $10,000. You know, and that $10,000 could last me. You know, and then I'd come home with $20,000, and then and then it started like, oh cool.
What was the song or video or
It was nothing that really put us over the edge. It was not like one particular thing. It was our style of music was gaining popularity. Our songs were getting way better. Like our singer, he writes all the songs, just started like getting way better. And we put out a record called White Trash 2. We put out a record called Punk and Drublick. Or maybe what?
That's great.
Yeah, or White Trash, 2 Heaves and a Bean. I'm the white trash. Got 2 Jewish guys and a Mexican. So White Trash, 2 Heaves and a Bean. That one came out right when I was in rehab. Got out of rehab. That one, all of a sudden, people go like, "Holy fuck, these guys are a really good band." I recorded it, strung out. You know, I got sober right afterwards, that's when the ball started rolling really big.
Yeah, because that's really interesting to kind of pinpoint, because here you are, you know, sober and clear, right? Like before, you're just playing and getting $100 maybe.
Yeah,
right?
I was along for the ride.
You were along for the ride.
For the party.
For the party in a cloud. Like your mind, you don't really give a shit what you're getting paid.
No, I was just there to be there.
Yeah, and you're not paying attention to dollars. You're not paying attention to...
There were no dollars.
A future. You're not paying attention to anything except for scoring the next whatever.
Yeah, no,
right?
there were no dollars. There was no future. It was just about having the immediate fun.
And then all of a sudden you're sober and you're clear, right?
Everything starts coming together.
Everything starts coming together, which is really interesting. And like, so was it like you start playing more shows and then you start hearing your songs on the radio, or like?
Not really radio, but the shows went from like 40 people to 400 people. And then next time we came through a town, there'd be 800 people. And then next time it would be like 1,500 people.
Did you guys have a manager, or who booked these, or you
We
just
did it all ourselves.
talk with the other bands and be like, hey, like we get three groups and we could go play here? Or?
Yeah, and then we would just do it all ourselves. And then we ended up getting a booking agent that booked punk bands, and she would call up and she would go, okay, here you go. You're going up the West Coast, across the top, down into Chicago, over to New York.
What was the event? Golden Voice was one of the ones that were for music, right?
Yeah.
Did you do what was the?
We did a lot of Golden Voice shows.
Oh, you did? Okay.
We did a lot of Golden Voice. They were like one of the punk rock promoters, but yeah, we did a lot of their shows.
Yeah. Because you know, I'm trying to put myself in your shoes when, you know, you came from the gutter and then now you're like aware and awake and you know, like you said, 8 people to 50 people to 100 people, and then you're saying, shit, you know, I came home with $1,000, I came home with $3,000, like
real money.
Yeah,
like real money, and like you're like, whoa, like we're
within a couple of years, I was making more money than my parents combined.
yeah,
You know, and I'm not talking millions of dollars. No, I've never made that up, but I'm talking like 80 grand.
yeah,
You know, and that was probably what they were making combined in 1992 or 95 or something. You know,
Yeah.
you know.
but the skyrocket effect of what just happened in your life.
It was weird because it was such a polar opposite from where I just immediately come from.
Yeah.
That I had a lot of guilt. I had a lot of like, do I deserve this? Like, what the fuck is going on? Because I would see my other buddies that were trying to get their shit together off of drugs, but still just struggling, you know, in life in general.
Yeah, I mean, you're given the gift of you know, music making, and you're in the right band.
It was a lot of timing, a lot of luck, a lot of
Yeah.
timing. I mean, we're a mediocre band that got lucky because everything just aligned all at once. You know.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's the truth.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome timing, like you said. Like, come out of rehab, the punk scene's like really coming alive. You're clear-headed, the band's playing a lot better, and it just skyrockets from there.
So
That's cool.
surf videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your generation.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of the songs in that
Taylor's
whole,
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of like the momentum shit and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, that was a lot of us, a lot of Pennywise, a lot of Bad Religion.
Yeah.
You know.
and were you aware of that
Yes.
was happening? And
Yes.
were you like, hell yeah, we're gonna be in the next surf video, like Taylor Steele video?
It's kind of, I didn't realize how much of an impact that he was having on the surf/punk world until a few years later.
Mm-hmm.
You know, until like the next generation.
Do you know which song?
No, I don't
was
know the
used?
songs. No, we had
Okay.
songs in all kinds of videos.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize what impact his videos had on the punk rock and the surfing community until the next generation of kids started coming out. Because they say, oh, I remember when I saw this stuff in your guys' music. Like when it was happening, it was just cool. You walking like a dinosaur?
A T-Rex.
Oh, sorry, kid.
Like a crazy kid.
So
Yeah. I mean, like we were talking before the podcast, like how like influential the surf movies were,
Oh,
like the
yeah.
music that went with it, and then you know, like Taylor was doing like premieres like everywhere, all up and down, you know, the coast, and I mean, he would have like a premiere
Yeah.
East Coast, right? He was
Yeah.
doing them kind of all over.
yeah. Well, you were saying that you guys played
I think
a
it was the
couple premieres.
Palace, like at least one or two of his premieres. Us and maybe Pennywise, you know, and there was like 2,000 fucking people in the audience.
Yeah.
You know?
It's amazing. So at 27, you're clear-headed, you're sober. Is that when you started surfing? Like
A couple
more?
years after that.
Okay.
That is like when I actually, before it was like I would go to the beach and it was something I'd like to do. And it's just part of the California lifestyle. Like I grew up, you know, like looking at Mark Richards on the cover of Surfer magazine with this fucking twinny, you know, all that kind of shit. So a couple years after that, when I'm more close to the age of like 30, like I was like, okay, I'm gonna really start surfing, and I did, and I picked it up really quick, like every fucking day.
What did you start on?
I started on longboard.
Okay.
It made it so easy. And then I transitioned down to little shorties. It's never very good on shortboards.
Yeah.
The margin for error on those things is, you know, it's harder to get in the waves. It's, you know, the whole.
Yeah.
So I I ride now 6'8" to 7'2". That's my world.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and that's, I mean, again, like we always talk about like different levels of surfing, and you know, everybody aspires to be, you know, or wants to watch like the guys rip,
Dude.
But what they think is a good day or a good wave versus what you are, it's different in our eyes, but in the feeling that you're going through, like when you catch a good wave on your 7.2 or whatever board and you're going fast and trimming,
Yeah.
you're getting that same exhilaration and fun fact, and you're thinking like, this is it. This is
Yeah,
it.
I mean, and I've surfed all over the world. I've gone everywhere, you know, and I've surfed, and you don't have, like, I'm a competent surfer. I'm average.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the best to fucking be just fucking stoked, as long as you get your fucking waves,
Yeah.
have a good time, and everybody's fucking cheerful and all that shit.
But you know, and you know, surfing, you know, people are pretty tough, you know, out in the water, and people talk a lot of crap, and people are always like, oh, that guy's a kook. And I'm like, in your eyes, yeah, maybe, but dude, that guy's probably having the best time of his life. He's probably ripping right now.
I don't think anybody's a kook unless they do something fucking really
No, of
stupid.
course, like the wave etiquette and, you know, cutting off
or they
dangerous.
don't know what it is.
Yeah.
You know, and then I'm not going to be one of those guys who goes like, dude, fucking beat it, go back.
Yeah.
It's like, no, dude, that wasn't cool. Just check this out. You don't do this.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like every once in a while.
You wouldn't do what Jay does.
I just, every once in a while, you'll see this.
I got to see what time it is real quick.
Yeah, you'll see those guys getting barreled, but they're not, and then they come out and they do a double.
Like when it's over their back shoulder.
It's just like and then they kick out like that guy just thought he got freaking so pissed.
You saw me. That's me. That's me.
So you got back into surfing, started off longboard.
And I got back into surfing. I actually learned how to surf.
Yeah.
You know, like it was always on my radar, something I wanted to do. I could boogie board, all this. You know, the typical valley kid.
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, fuck it, no.
And you're living in Long Beach at this time, and you're still there.
I'm in Long Beach. Yeah, I'm still there. I haven't left.
And where do you like go cruise at? Like, where's your spot?
Cliffs.
Cliffs.
Every day. Every day. I go to the pier occasionally, but
Yeah.
it's just such a tight little zone.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you go in the second parking lot or the
Closer to here. Yeah, the
Okay.
south parking lot.
south parking lot? Yeah.
So when you know, and you know, our little opening monologue here, you got into motorcycle riding.
Okay, my whole life, motorcycles have always been my passion.
Yeah.
Since I was a kid, just my dad had a couple, just my fucking passion. I never got one as a kid. I had like a little, you know, it just never got that support.
Yeah.
Like I had a little mini bike for a second and just never got that support. So when I made some money, I started racing motorcycles.
Racing.
Yeah, racing, and I got it. I still last time I raced was a year ago, but yeah.
That's like what kind of like bike or
Motocross. And right now I have a KTM 350. Yeah, you know, probably done 100 races or something. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, we live at the beach, but I have so many friends that are into moto. You know,
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
It's like you said, it's part of the Southern California culture.
Do you know Forrest Mitchington?
Yeah.
Does he live right around the corner?
I don't think he lives in this track.
Yeah.
Okay, because I drove by and I was like, hey, is that his shit?
Yeah, we got a ton of neighbors that they're
Okay.
Yeah.
their bikes. You could hear them going down. They're tuning up in their driveways in the garage like all the time. Yeah.
So that didn't start until
Same time when I got out of rehab, living in Hollywood.
it's like your second.
I started living the life that I was
Wanted to.
meant to live.
Yeah.
You know, You know, the motorcycles, the surf.
So did you start a business with moto too?
Me and a couple friends, me and my friend Jordan and my friend Kurt, we took the snowboard and surfing video idea. All the motocross videos were fucking cheesy. Excuse me, were cheesy. Were just silly. And then we took the snowboarding and the surfing, like, you know, the partying, the fighting, the behind the scenes of what these guys are really doing. And we said, let's do it that way. And coincidentally, it was the same exact time as Crusty Demons.
No.
It was the exact same time. Like,
Yeah.
And then we met those guys. We're like, no way. Yeah, like we were same thing. They put their video out about 4 months before ours actually came out. But we were filming, so that and so we started doing videos.
For moto.
Yeah. Took the profits of those videos and started a race team. Started racing the Supercrosses and the Outdoor Nationals.
Wow.
And then
What's that company called?
It was MotoXXX.
Okay.
And we won a Supercross at the LA Coliseum. We were the most successful independent privateer team ever. And that ran from 1996 to 2002.
So it's a motorcycle team?
Yeah, we'd go race all of the Supercrosses inside the stadiums and stuff like that.
Were you guys trying to travel with, like, during, like, or was this the moto full separate gig?
It's full separate gig.
Yeah.
Yeah, full separate. Like we had like two semis, at least one semi and a bunch of box trucks.
Yeah.
You know, like full separate deal. Like I'd go off on tour and they, you know, like with employees, the whole 9 yards.
Dang.
Getting
That's expensive.
sponsors.
So it's a full-on business.
Absolutely. And that went on. We didn't make it. I didn't pocket any money from it because we were making his videos along the way, and it was going into the race team and then sponsors. But it was just all out of passion. The same as the music.
Yeah.
You know,
Hey, you know, like,
What were the videos called?
MotoXXX, and then there was like 1, 2, 3. Then, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Just stupid names to go along with them.
Yeah.
You know, I think we did 9 of them or something like that.
We I don't know if you've heard, you know who Justin Mulford is?
Yeah.
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 We had him on the podcast and he was that kid at the
Yeah.
beginning of the movies.
Yeah.
Crusty
Yeah,
Demons.
he's probably, how old just now? Probably 25 or something like that.
Probably, maybe a little older, yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that, you know, again, just that era. I mean, it was
Yeah, the mid to late
Yeah.
90s, like it was just blowing up.
blowing up. Like that's when free surfing kind of like started. You know,
Yeah.
outside of a couple skateboarding, same thing. It was more
Yeah.
personality. Same in the moto scene. It was
Yeah.
like, hey, it's just not.
Snowboarding was huge.
It just wasn't the guys racing or you
No,
know, in the contest. It was like,
It was showing like, look,
Yeah.
there's other avenues of this sport.
Yeah.
You know.
and I mean, all the coverage was up until then was mag print or maybe you'd see some highlights of a race. There
Yeah.
wasn't like that kind of,
And
hey, let's just go, you know, screw around on a local
and the
track.
videos
and-
were like tutorial videos.
Yeah.
Like there was no like just guys having fun and jumping and goofing around
And now you're like, dude, that guy's cool. I like his style, and look what he's doing. Like, you know, there's a lot more to like,
Yeah.
you know, take from that athlete.
It's a trip. How Huntington was like the epicenter
it
for
was a mecca.
skate, surf, snowboarders,
I think
moto.
Like in the mid to late 90s, like that lifestyle really like got exposed through videos and shit like that. So people from the Inland Empire and all that stuff just
Yeah.
moved straight here.
Yeah.
Straight
It brought all that.
The 909 factor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of a sudden there's a bunch of lifted trucks, a bunch of sideways hats.
Yeah. White
Pitbulls.
Arnettes.
Pit bulls.
Yeah, dude. Pit bulls. And wife beaters.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you got into boxing and jiu-jitsu
Yeah.
at what age were you into that? I'm sure Punk, you guys got in a lot of
I got
scraps.
in a lot of fights. When I'm growing up, I got in a lot of fights. Jiu-jitsu, I probably started 2007,
Okay.
you know, and then boxing shortly thereafter. And then in 2010, I opened a boxing gym
Yeah.
in Long Beach, and we just sold it like a month ago. So
Wow.
it
Congrats.
ran for that long. We sold. My partner, who was a pro fighter, was just like, I'm just burnt on it. So yeah, like I was teaching boxing. I got a lot of experience, cornered a lot of fights. I don't have any fights on record myself, but
Yeah.
I've done a lot of sparring and all that kind of shit. But yeah,
This guy.
Yeah. How did opening a gym? Your buddy was a boxer.
my buddy was a boxer. He was a pro boxer. He was really good, but then he just he quit, became a teacher, and then he was like, teaching sucks.
Yeah.
It really does. I don't want to fight anymore. But then he started training people and training celebrities, and I saw how good he was at it. Really
Like,
personal.
we need a place.
Yeah, really personable. But he was hustling. Like, he was driving to Hollywood. He was like Matt Damon's trainer for all of Matt Damon's movies, and then through that he got other actors and stuff like that.
How did you meet this guy?
Through the punk scene. Like, he was just a friend of mine from Long Beach. He lived in Long Beach. What's up, dude?
That is so fortunate.
Yeah. So I saw what he was up to, and like, he was a really good friend of mine. He moved to Miami for a long time, was training celebrities, and then he moved back to Long Beach because he got sick of it. And I'm like, dude, you're so good at this.
Yeah.
Let's open a freaking gym. Because I did the numbers through the jiu-jitsu place.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, the rent on this place is probably $6,000 a month. They have 300 students at $150 a month.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. It's positive cash flow from day one. So we opened up a gym in
What was it called?
Long Beach United Boxing Club, right on the corner of 4th and Cherry and Retro Row, right in the middle of like the hip neighborhood and all that kind of shit. We almost did one on Main Street. You know where the bicycle shop is now?
Yeah.
Jack's
Remember what was
electric chair.
Yeah, when it was electric chair. When they vacated,
Yeah.
we almost rented that place out
Dude,
and
that
opened
was-
up a
that's
big
a
boxing.
killer building.
Yeah, the rent
Sick
was,
building.
The rent
Yeah.
was $20,000 a month.
Oh my
right?
gosh.
Fuck
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but so anyway, so we opened it up, and it was a successful mainstay community based, not a tough guy gym for like real fighters. It was like, you want to come in and learn something, you want to get some exercise, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
You know.
Have fun.
Yeah, have fun.
Yeah. But you're learning some
You're
skill.
learning. It was a boxing exercise, but we also had sparring classes. We also had like
Cardio and
a lot of different kind of stuff.
Can I ask you, like, when you formed the motocross team,
Yeah.
it was a business,
Yeah.
and then you open this gym with your buddy, it's a business,
Yeah.
right? Where did you get your business savvy?
It's not. It's just. It was passion. It wasn't like I'm not a fucking business guy. I'm just a guy that I had passion in music, so I wanted to play it.
Yeah.
You know, I had passion in motocross, so like I raced it. Like, let's make some videos because I saw what snowboarding does. That looks really cool. That worked. I really like jiu-jitsu. I really like boxing. Oh man, this community would be great if we had a boxing gym here. It was just more my passion.
Yeah.
You know, hence the shaping. Like, I've been surfing now for 25 years or whatever it is, and I see the art that goes behind the shaping, and I see that every board is they're different for different style of waves, different style of surfers, all kinds of different shit. So I started hacking out boards. I started just getting out the planer and just chiseling away.
And when did you start that? When did you start?
2008. I did 2008 I started shaping. About the same time as, like, right before the gym, you know?
Did you have any training from anybody, or did you like just spend a lot of time in like the shaping bays with people?
Yeah, it was like YouTube clips and like I'd been getting custom boards and I'd go in there and see it, but I didn't really know. And then I went to Phone Easy and bought some,
Brad Nadell.
Yeah, Brad. I'm there every day. Bought some like a brewer, like how to shape video.
Yeah.
And grew up in a working class blue collar house where you fix shit yourself.
Yeah.
My first car, I had to do the top end on it. I had to do so like I knew how to use tools and I was like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah.
So my first board, holy shit, it's a surfboard, and it surfed. It worked.
It looks like a surfboard.
Yeah. Surprisingly, yes. I mean, I know it sounds kind of weird, but you see some boards, first shapes, and people are gonna go, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
It looked like a surfboard.
Yeah. What'd you shape? A longboard?
No. It was like a fun board. I think it was like a 610 or a 7.0. Just kind of like an eggy thing, sort of easy, not a lot of complex curves or whatever. And then my second board was a 6'1" fish. Like kind of like the Lost Roundnose fish, a little more, not so old school, but a quad. And I still had the board. It's a legitimate surfboard. It surfed really good. It was like, holy shit. Third, fourth, fifth boards not so good, and then it just started getting better, better, better.
Now, did you form a brand? Is this what you want to do for a living?
Well,
want to make money doing this?
No, not at the time. I mean, what happened was, so I was shaping like a backyard shaper. I'd like shape myself a board or a friend a board. Or,
and people here are like, oh, you shave?
I'll try one. Yeah, some worked, some didn't work, whatever it was. It was cool. It was fun. It was another hobby. So when COVID happened, I probably shaped a couple hundred boards, you know?
That's a lot.
Yeah, but that was over 12 years or something like that. So it's not really a lot, you know, 10 a year maybe. So COVID happened, all of a sudden I'm musically unemployed. Like, am I ever going to be employed again? I'm not financially, emotionally ready to retire. You know, I don't want to.
Can I ask you a quick question? Sure. Did you guys ever record an album? Like, have you recorded albums since? When did you start doing that? Because I know you.
Oh, we started recording albums like within a couple of years of us starting.
Okay.
And we've been recording all the way through. We probably have 20 albums, I don't know, and 50 other weird things.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been recording all along.
And I don't know the music industry. What do you get paid for recording, and then you get paid for each one sold?
You don't get paid for recording. You pay for recording because you got to hire someone to do it.
That's why most people go with like a high-end or a major label because
Yeah.
they have all of that tech and
Yeah,
studio.
but they still bill you for it.
But they build,
the
yeah,
band
but
has
you
to
got to
have
pay
the band,
back. Yeah.
So we would get paid on sales. So if a record sells for $10, record label gets 5, the band gets 5, or whatever the deal may be. But the digital age came. No more records are being sold because everything can be downloaded, everything can be pirated, everything's on YouTube.
Yeah.
So my income used to be 50% sales, 50% touring. Now it's 90% touring. No, 98% touring, 2% sales. There's no more record sales.
And you're not getting paid more to tour.
No. So
That's heavy.
yeah, the industry changed to where records. There's no longer really record sales. You
It's
know,
wild. And we talked to a couple other, musician artists, and they said that
pretty the same
it's-
thing. Huh?
pennies, points of pennies per download
Yes.
or impressions or whatever. It's like
It's-
you got to hit massive numbers to even make money.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
But if you get something that goes viral or you get something, then you might see a little blip.
Yeah,
you
but it used to be like before a person would have to buy a record.
yes.
Now they could just download one song or stream one song, and it is like 1/100th of a penny.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
Yeah. I mean, luckily, when MTV and took a dive and they went all
Yeah.
I don't know what's the shows they're putting. They stopped playing music.
Yeah, they started doing like all the real worlds. And
all
that
the
shit.
all the reality stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like, man, then there was like nobody really investing into like videos and stuff. It was just songs and now I feel like there's like a resurgence with YouTube, like in the
but
last
YouTube, the bands don't really make money on YouTube,
no,
but YouTubers do.
yeah,
A
right,
different story.
yeah, but like as far as trying to get some spike in sales or a
Yeah.
song and stuff, like it seems
There
like,
is that now. Like you can put videos up, and it does help.
Yeah.
It does help.
but it's like at what cost of putting a video together,
Well, so then back to the COVID thing, it hit, and I was like, fuck, I better fucking do something because I can't sit on my ass while my wife works fucking 60 hours a week, and she comes home and my underwear scratching my balls, going, fuck, dude, I just watched the funniest fucking movie.
Yeah.
Like, how long is that going to be fucking
Yeah.
sustainable? So I was like, I better do something, and so I was like, fuck it, like I said, I'd shaped a couple hundred surfboards, and I have a built-in clientele with the band fan base.
yeah,
And we make see if anybody wants some custom boards,
yeah.
and it just started happening.
On
What's
that-
your board label?
Pickle Stix.
Pickle Stix.
yeah?
Yeah.
So
Why Pickle Stix?
Because that second board I made, that 6-1 fish, I painted like pickle green. And my friend Curly would go, dude, that's your pickle stick.
that's
What are you
funny.
going to ride today? I go, my pickle stick.
Yeah.
And so it became, Pickle Stix.
Do you think, or do you know, like the people ordering your boards now, that are they wall art, or are they just get it by it because you, or they're full on surfers,
Right.
or combo?
Both. I'm going to say,
Because you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say-
Smelly shaping. I want a board like that's rare.
I would say
like, that's-
10% wall art,
Okay.
maybe 5%,
Yeah.
But a lot of boards, like, no, like people are like
That's
riding
cool.
them and getting pretty fucking good reviews,
Yeah.
You know,
But
it's-
I just find it interesting because
That
some
is
people
so
are being like,
funny.
yeah.
That's kind of awesome.
like you said, you got a fan base, and if somebody's like, dude, I'll
It's
buy
not,
a
like
board.
it's not like I'm just some Joe Blow in a garage. Like, I
Yeah.
have people that would be interested,
Yeah.
and then
So do you have a shaping room at home, or
it's actually where the gym was. We just sold the gym, but I kept the garage. I got a single car garage. It's a full shaping bay.
Epic.
The lights, the fucking color blue on the wall, the fucking whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got the tutorial.
Yeah, I got my skill planner on the wall that I don't use anymore because everything's fucking computer cut. You know, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah. And you're one of Foam Easy's best customers.
First name basis, man. They call me and I kind of fucking talk shit about their moms, all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
We got the triple stringer 9-0. You want? No, I'm just kidding.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you shaping? What's your specialty?
I don't know. A little bit of everything, though. You know, like yesterday I delivered a 9-0, like classic nose rider, and then tomorrow I'm shaping a 5.9. You know, it's a little bit of everything.
Nice. Do you have a team?
No, God, no. I mean, like, you know,
You're not here to
the
lose
profit
money.
the profit on surfboard shaping at my level is nothing.
Right.
You know, I'll give somebody. Yes, I've made boards for free for friends, but like if somebody that is like, I'll just go how I did cost.
Yeah.
You know, $50 above cost, whatever it may be.
Yeah. I mean, you got your time invested, but yeah, you're just, you're building a brand or a label, and you're honing your skill in, and
and I know I'm not a fucking Rusty, or I'm not of this, or I'm not of that. I've made some good surfboards. I've probably made some clunkers too. It's just more of a fucking passion, you know. And it's a really fucking awesome feeling when I make myself a board, paddle the first wave, and you just it's like, oh fuck, this works.
Yeah.
This fucking works. You know, like it's cool.
Yeah.
yeah, satisfaction.
What was the event that you and Tyler just did? You guys just did
A thing called Punk in the Park. It was a 2-day punk rock music festival in Irvine.
Punk in the Park.
good turnout?
Yeah, the first day I think there was like 10,000. The second day there was 6,000.
Wow.
Yeah, it sold merchandise. I had some surfboards and sold a couple surfboards there and got a couple of orders. Yeah, it was all good.
Dang.
It was awesome.
And what was like how many bands over the 2 days, or just
That's
festival?
probably-
More like
It was a festival vibe.
Yeah.
It was probably 15 bands both days. I don't really
Did
know.
you guys play too?
We played last year.
Okay.
This year I was behind the booth, like selling, taking pictures all day.
some cool nostalgic
You did
shit
a
coming in
pickle-
out of the woodworks. People like finding
Yeah.
You did a Pickle Stix booth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like me and Beer Savage, like we had booths side by side and
Yeah.
cross promoted and sold merchandise and had some boards on display and all that kind of shit.
Nice.
Yeah.
So out of all 30 albums you guys made, and it, all under what record labels, and like
couple different record labels, but independents.
independent mostly.
Yeah. We've never been on a major.
Yeah, and that's just because you guys
Don't need to.
want to control your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
No pressure, not
No,
do your
yeah.
own thing.
exactly. We're on a major, and then if they don't like the record, they won't put it out, and then
Mm-hmm.
you haven't fulfilled your contract because you signed for like 3 records. And if they don't like the second one, if they don't put it out, you can never get out of that label. Well, who's this? Is this another kid?
The neighbors.
What's
Come
up,
on,
Trevor?
Grams. Hey, dudes, out.
So
Snoop Dogg.
that's Snoop Elf, dude.
Yeah.
And then you just came back from a trip in Australia, right?
Yeah, I was in Australia. We played 3 shows, and then I spent a few days shaping afterwards too.
Sick.
Oh, in Australia?
Yeah,
Oh,
did
killer.
15 boards
Hey.
in 2 days. And
Mixing business with pleasure.
We always love saying that. Mixing business
It's-
with pleasure.
it was a pleasure shaping the boards, but I thought I was going to stay for a week. I was staying right in Byron Bay. Did you see that big swell that just hit like here and all that shit a couple days ago? Like it was just like the whole Super Bait came together. Couldn't surf.
Oh.
I know. I missed that swell by 1 day, and then when I got there, I had more boards than I thought I had, and less time to do it. I spent every fucking minute in a shaping bay.
And what was the orders you had there? Did you have them
I pre-order, I got pre-orders going a couple months before and worked all the way through, and then I thought I was going to stay there for a week.
Yeah.
And actually, I could only stay there for 3 days because I couldn't change my airplane ticket. Who's this? Is this another one?
Isn't that another one?
Jeez, a bunch of blonde kids.
Yeah.
You're a handsome devil.
Thanks. That's my middle
That's
guy.
JJ.
That's
That's
JJ over there.
Ah.
Polo at 6:30.
You in water polo or horse polo?
Water.
I'd be rather if it was horse polo.
Yeah. We're good on time. I was just letting him know because they'll just disappear.
I got a kind of an odd question.
Yeah.
Could we pick this up at tomorrow? Does that fuck things up?
Yeah.
It does?
No. Well, we got somebody tomorrow.
We have somebody tomorrow.
Yeah.
But you got a split?
Yeah. I just gotta hurry the fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah, podcasts are kind of hard to like.
Yeah,
I get in trouble all the time. Like, well, I didn't know it was gonna be 3 or 4 hours. I'm like,
We didn't know either. We never know how long it's
I know.
gonna be.
I realized that, and then I was like, so okay, 3:30 in bed, and then it's like almost 5:30. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta get home. I gotta feed the dogs. I got this guy fucking yelling at me to hurry the fuck up.
No worries.
Fuck, hold on. Let me get back to him.
Yeah.
So sorry, dude. I'll see you tomorrow. Period. First thing. Fuck, I feel so bad right now.
That is.
Is he a customer for a board?
No, it's. I have this crunch board, like not crunch. I mean, I have a board that is on a serious time crunch. The guy needs it
For
by
Christmas?
the first week of January, and I fucked up on. I shipped him the wrong thing, and so this is a redo, and so I had a meta board cut, and I said I'll be there at 5 because I thought this would go like 3:30 to 4:30, and right now I was like, hurry the fuck up! It's and I'm. It's at Foam Easy. It's at Aloha.
Yeah.
So it would take me 20
I
minutes.
just saw a post from one of our friends that ships, and he's like, posting, hey, first come, first serve. I effed up, and it was supposed to be in PU or epoxy or whatever,
Yeah.
and he's like, yeah, I gotta, just.
That's pretty much what this was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's your friend?
Tim Stamps.
Yeah, I know Tim really well.
Yeah.
Like he's helped me out a lot.
Nice.
My wife like grew up with him, went to school and shit.
Yeah, but it was funny because like I'll follow his Instagram and be like, oh,
I saw that too.
He's got a couple of gyms, for sale.
Yeah.
And it's always like,
Yeah, like
somebody didn't want it, or hey, I screwed up and put it in. I think it was the wrong, like PU.
it happens a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Laura and I have been riding his boards for a long time.
Tim's
Yeah.
a good guy.
Yeah.
Man. He's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Is it cool if we come get back to this? Does that
Yeah.
mess things up?
Yeah. We can launch it like.
We'll launch this, and then whenever we can connect
I mean,
again.
we could come back. I can come back like. I mean, you guys.
Next week? Yeah. What do you have next week?
I'm around.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, dude. I feel. I mean, I go to Mammoth next week.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
No worries.
Fuck, I feel bad.
this, dude, we don't care.
Yeah.
We got an hour and 33 minutes.
Well, don't launch that. Like, I mean, you can launch.
No, we're
it.
gonna launch it.
Oh, I was gonna say like. Oh, then just do a part 2 kind
Yeah,
of
we'll
deal.
just do a part 2.
Have you guys done that before?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel bad. I just
We
like.
keep it loose, bro. We hang loose.
This is us. It's just 2 dudes and a microphone.
Oh my god! All right, I feel really, really bad.
What,
I'm so
dude?
sorry.
So far, this story's been kind of crazy and amazing at the same time.
Okay, we'll get into this.
This is episode 1 with Erik, Smelly, Sandin, NOFX.
Yeah.
Drummer